Yes, I'm finally blonde. Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Bella Star. Hello, how you doing? Yes, I am a Gryffindor now. I just got my new sweatshirt, and today is a very happy day. It's a very special day. First off, it's my first year anniversary, my first love. Thank you, I love you so much. And I did my hair today, and it's just crazy. He's never seen me in this hair, but whatever, girl. Anyway, so today I decided that I'm gonna do a video on a story time, and this story time takes place back in 1962. I'm just kidding. No, it really doesn't. It really doesn't. I wasn't even born back then or any of that. So I decided that it's almost Halloween, which means I get to tell my scary stories. And let me tell you, most of these are not paranormal, but there are things that have happened to me and they're crazy. And let's get this started. First story is gonna be about my cousin. Now, I lived with my cousins for a year, I think, a year? I'd say a year. And, well, they were little, okay? So, back then, that was when I was played by an F-boy, right? Let's call him F. So, I was being played by an F-boy, and my mom, she's like, why don't you babysit? I'm right here like, I'm being played. Like, I don't have time for these little kids games, aka F-boy, but whatever. So I'm right here like, okay, I'll just babysit, whatever. So I'm right here babysitting my little cousins. One is like 1 year old, and the other one was like 3, right? So I'm right here like babysitting, and the little girls, they were both sleeping because little girls sleep really fast. So like, whatevs. So I'm right here babysitting these 2 kids. My brother's in his room and the other girls are sleeping, right? So I'm right here like in the table, and I'm right here like, oh, I hate my life, whatever, you know. I'm like arguing with this F-boy. I'm like, come on, right? So honestly, it pisses me off when someone doesn't respond to my messages. I'm like, did you die? Like, did you die? Did you die? So I thought he died, and I'm right here like pissed off. I have a huge headache. Now let me get you a little background, because obviously my stories are all over the place because they're not scripted. So on my table, my dinner table, there's a high chair in the corner. Not corner, but like kind of like, you know how people do. So it's like in the corner, kind of. So anyway, so there was this dinner table, whatever, and there was a high chair for kids to eat, right? So there was this high chair, and I was sitting on the corner. So for my corner, the high chair is like, you can only see the high chair part. You can't see, like, you can't see the bottom. So just, you'll see what I'm talking about. So I'm right here like pissed off. I'm like, whatever. Okay. And then I see like this rattle. Like, it's like, okay, I'm gonna bring my light into this. Here's my example. I know it washes my face up, but who cares? So it's like this, right? And I'm like thinking that it was my cousin, right? And I was like, hey, stop. And he didn't want to stop. And I'm like, stop. And I thought he was like shaking it from the bottom, and I couldn't see him because he's so tiny. I miss him so much. Anyway, so I thought that it was him. So I thought he was shaking it, and I'm like, stop it. I'm getting a huge headache, stop it. And then all of a sudden, it stops, and I'm like, okay, good, that I can deal with, right? So I'm like, okay, whatever, you know? So then again, it starts rattling, and I'm like, stop it. And then my little cousin, the other one, he's like, Jenny, and I'm like, yes. And he's like, he's sleeping right there. And I kid you not, this kid was knocked out right next to me, and the other kid was right next to me too, because I remember when I said stop it to when I thought I was the other kid, I was holding the other kid's hand, like I was holding him back because I thought he was gonna do something too. So I'm right here like, stop it, because this was like playing around. So I'm like, stop it. So I know that wasn't him. And I know it wasn't the little girls because the girls are tall enough for me to see. So I'm like freaking out here, and then like I think an hour later when I calmed down, I texted all my friends about it. Half of them didn't even believe me, but who cares? So I'm right here like freaking out, and then my brother comes out of his room, which he never does. He comes out of his room and he's like, did you see Samantha? And I was like, no, she's sleeping. He's like, I thought I saw a shadow running by, and I thought it was her. And I'm like, no, I did not see her, but this is really... So the fact that she wasn't even awake and I could have seen her and my brother saw her, that's just creepy. Another scary story was when I was my cousin, and they were throwing football around, right? They were like tossing the football back and forth, my brother and my cousin, and this is back then. This I had this house, and the porch had this like little lantern right here, and the lantern you could see like waves or whatever, you know, the light waves, whatever. So I'm right here like texting and like always. So I'm right here like texting like this, and then they're passing the football, and then all of a sudden the football went straight to me, and it could have hit my head like that, or like it could have been like this or something, you know. That football. Okay, I'll use this. Okay, so here's the lantern, right? Here's the lantern, and the football, you can see the waves. The football would have gone like, right? That football went like this, like that, and it went around me, but it wasn't obviously around me. It was like this. What the experience, but I feel like it was a guardian angel trying to save me or something. But that was scary though. That was still scary. So another scary moment was when I was little and we were in Mexico. And in Mexico we were sleeping on the mattress or whatever, and the whole family was sleeping on the mattress, like Mexican zoo one day visit. So my mom was telling a scary story at 2 a.m. and I was 9. And I was like sleeping, well not sleeping, but I was like scared, and I was next to my mommy because I was a little bratty 9-year-old, and then she was like, ooh, and the weeping woman, la penitente. You know, she was like telling scary stories. So I was like, mom was telling scary stories. And then she was telling the story about this lady, this old lady, and I remember it vividly because this scary story, I'm gonna tell you something embarrassing. I peed my pants. So anyway, so this story, my mom said that this lady was with chains and she was trying to scare us, you know. So she's right here like walking by the streets, asking for cash with a bucket, whatever, and then she'll knock on your door. And then she'll be like this. And if you didn't give her cash, she would take off her face or her hoodie or whatever, and she'll eat you or something, right? So I was little and I obviously believed it. And then I guess in the night in Mexico, it's super dark, super dark. So I get scared of that stuff, you know? So I'm right here like scared to death. You can see the windows dark. And I'm right here scared to death, and I peed my pants, and I was so embarrassed because everyone was around me. So my mom had to put me in a separate couch. So, and all of a sudden I hear this loud bang. I was panicking. I panicked so hard, and mom's like, Jenny, calm down. And I panicked and I screamed because I thought it was that old lady. And I panicked and panicked and panicked, and then it was my grandma. But let me tell you that this was 2 a.m. and it was, the door was like those kind of doors, they're really loud when you knock on them because they're like black. You know what I mean, right? You know what I mean. So yeah, like it was scary to me. I was little. And of course it wasn't like something scary, like for real, but it was my grandma. But still, the fact that she came in at 2 in the morning was kind of scary. Now this is the last story because our video is kind of a little long, but you know, who cares? So this story, it didn't happen to me, but it happened to my mom. Now I can guarantee the story 100% that it's real because my mom told me and everyone else told me, and I kind of lived it. Like I lived it, like I was there, but I was too young to know what was going on. I was just there, like in high school, I was just there. So anyway, this story. So my grandfather died. We're going to the cemetery because we had to take his ashes in the cemetery. So anyway, so we met this lady and she was weird. Let's say she was weird. And this lady was weird, and she would talk to my mom and she would be like, hello, you know, super nice to my mom, whatever. And then she walked us around. The lady was like, she's like, take note that all of these flowers are fake, but you can smell them. Yeah, that's right, you can smell fake flowers, and that's weird because it was in the cemetery. I'm like, oh my god. And she was weird, and she smelled like flowers. So then I'm right here like thinking, like when I was little, I was like, oh, you know, I don't care, whatever. But my mom was kind of a little scared because she was like, why is she being so nice to me only? Like, why only me? You know? So then my mom touched her, well not touched her, but like she touched her hand or something like that, or she got there, and her hands were freezing cold. Now my mom was like, what the heck? Like, why is she so cold? That's so weird. On top of all the other weird things that she is, you know? So then we go to, we're already done with the whole process of my grandfather and, you know, everything. And then we thank the guy and we're like, hey, thanks. Tell the lady we said thank you, the one that helped us. And he's like, who? And it was like, the lady that helped us, the one that helped us with the speaking Spanish or whatever. And he was like, what are you talking about? The only ones that are here are me and my wife, and she never talks to anyone. She only closes. And we're like, what? But I guess it's not scary if I tell it. I think I had to get my dad to tell it or someone else. I'll have someone else tell it. But it's really spooky, and I heard the story a billion times, and it's really weird. And I lived through it, and I know who she is. I met her in person, and it's so weird, and it's creepy. Well, anyway, Halloween's coming up, and I have way more stories, way more weird stories, and embarrassing stories, because, you know, it's me, like, obviously, like. But anyway, give it a big thumbs up. If you want to see more scary, embarrassing video, there's a red subscribe button down there. You can subscribe and be part of my little white basic family with my little Ugg boots and my little Starbucks. Bye everyone. Good luck and see you later. Bye.